Good afternoon, all. Paul from CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, July 11th. Looking at window traders market profile of the ES and NQ. So this balance really becoming interesting, right? Even righty, which went up yesterday, comes back into balance today. They're a 3-day balance. They go out with a 12-wide point of control, an afternoon rally high in K, and a price probe. We will go over all these indices charts. The other thing I want to show you in both righty and ES, we have what we call a value gap, right? An island top gap, right? This is Wednesday, Thursday. The value was higher, and today the value totally lower. So again, not a bullish thing. We had that the other day, or I'm not sure if it was this week or last week in ES, and then we finally took it back. But guess what? We have it again today in ES. Look, yesterday with the trend day up, we ended with higher value. Today, never got to value low, just missed it. So technically, it's an island top gap by like a tick. Again, that's not the reason to say, okay, oh God, the bulls are in trouble. What I want to focus on is we just stretched the balance high, and then we have that. So again, when was the other one? Oh, here it was. When we gapped higher, right? That's Thursday before July 4th. And then we went lower and left the island top at the time at the all-time high with the value. It took how many days? So this was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It took to Thursday of this week to get it back. So it's just something to keep an eye on. Did we just stretch the balance, have an island top on value, and are we going to roll over to balance? Now, the next thing, what is my balance going to be? Initially, I was going to use Monday's low, the poor low. I think for now, I'm going to use just a 3-day balance. Wednesday's low, Thursday's high. So if we take out Wednesday's low, I'd call the daily down. Now, that doesn't mean anything catastrophic for the bulls at that point. What would mean more trouble is what? If you take out the weekly low. Because then not only would the daily be down, the weekly would be in balance. So that's the things to look forward to next week. We talk about hump levels. Well, in the Bears case, they want to defend value low from yesterday, which is 63.10. Remember, I said that this morning on the video. They defended it all day, although the bulls really controlled the day. Any push down was just a flush of weak longs, and we went right back up. But we never could get out of the lower distribution and get into the upper. NQ is definitely different. You don't have that with the value. Okay, there's no value gap or anything. NQ ends with a 10-wide POC, and that's it. ES ends with the pullback in F and a 10-wide POC. Had a decent day, the majority in the morning. I actually shorted value low when we got up to it the first time today in NQ and made about 20 points on it. The next trade, I got A's high, so I got one of my staple trades in B, had a couple of ebb and flows. C period, I got the IB high. It wasn't a lot. I made about 12 points on it. I longed against the single prints. We had initially made some. D period, I gave back 25 points what I was up when it really flushed. I took the long at half back, but it got below it. I said I'm out when it got below the opening. But I made 20 points in I period, which I thought was going to be the afternoon pullback, which was until L. And I actually made another 9 or 10 points when I bought off of half back in L period. So again, I'm chipping away at Wednesday's loss. Got back 2,500 yesterday. Got back another, or 2,300 yesterday. Got back another 1,200 today. So again, there's no way with the loss that I had yesterday, I'm going to play big. That is definitely not going to happen to get it all back in one day. Okay? That's a recipe for disaster. So let's go to the charts. All right, you saw how it looks on the profile. Now let's go to the charts. So here is IWM. The monthly's up and the monthly's very healthy. One time framing up for 3 months. The weekly is also up, right? One time framing up for 2 weeks. The daily, though, is balance. Now again, there's going to be no right or wrong answer on this, right? None whatsoever. Because it's subjective, it's an art, it's not a science. So do you want to call righty a 6-day balance? Or do you want to call righty a 3-day balance and use Monday's low, which is the weekly low, as an important one because the weekly would come back to balance if you did that? Again, subjective. NQ. The monthly's up, right? Monthly's chugging along for 3 months, very healthy. And again, when I say one time framing up for 3 months, that's not even talking about the rally off the lows of April. So again, pullbacks are healthy. This market's done nothing but rip up from the lows of April to now. The weekly is up. It's one time framing up 2 weeks, but look at the bigger picture. We had an outside week up in April. We had an outside week up 3 weeks ago. In between, we're one time framing up 10 out of 11 weeks. Okay? Now, last week's range was small. This week's range is even smaller. This is the NASDAQ. It's an $8 range. We see that in 1 day. That's the whole week's range. This week was a full week of trading. So remember, what do we have to watch out for? Well, again, look at the balance. Again, you want to call a 6-day balance? That's fine. No problem. You want to call a 3-day balance? That's fine. Whatever you want. But here's what I'm trying to say, and this goes for all 3 of the indices. The weeklies have gotten very small. So there is something you have to be aware of. Do we explode out of it? Bull, continue bull? Do we really come down and go back to balance? Or do we get head fakes on a real push up or real push down? A lot out there, right? A lot on the table with those small weekly ranges. And then in the S&P, pretty much the same thing. Your monthly is up for 3 months, very healthy. Your weekly is up for 2 weeks, but look at this week's range. Look at that. It's exactly $9 in SPY. Exactly. It's actually bigger than NQ's range. But again, the smaller the ranges, the more it could play games with it when we come out of this week's high or low. So it's still up though. And then the daily, again, 6-day balance or 3-day balance. Monday's low is crucial in all 3 of these indices because it's the weekly low from this week. So I'm going to use a 3-day balance. So this way, if we take out Wednesday's low, the daily will be down, and then we see how we respond if we get to Monday's lows. So our hump levels going into next week will be value low from yesterday in ES and righty, not NQ, and for the bears to defend, and for the bulls to defend, for all 3 of us, it's Wednesday's lows. I hope you had a good day and a good week trading. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. Rest up, enjoy your weekend, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.